You know, what really separates a good project manager from a great one? It's not just about ticking boxes and hitting deadlines. It's about unlocking the human potential that's sitting right there in your team. So, in this explainer, we're going to dig into how you can stop just managing tasks and start really truly supporting and recognizing your team's growth. I love this quote from the Agile Practice Guide because it perfectly sets the stage. Leading by standing behind them. Sounds a little weird, right? Like a paradox? But it gets to the heart of what modern leadership is all about. It's a huge shift away from that old school top-down command and control style. Instead, it's all about providing the support that empowers your team to step up and own their work. All right, so before we jump into the how-to, let's talk about the why. I mean, why should we even care this much about team growth? What's the destination we're actually trying to reach? Okay, so the PMBOK guide, the official playbook for project managers, gives us a great definition here. And what I want you to notice is that developing a team isn't some fluffy, nice to have thing. No, it's a core process. It's about getting better at three key things: individual skills, how we all work together, and just the overall vibe of the team. And check out that last part. The whole point is to make the project better. And the benefits? Oh, they're huge. Seriously. When you put in the effort to grow your team, you get people who actually want to work together. They're more motivated, they stick around longer, and let's be honest, that saves a ton of headaches with turnover, right? And it all circles back to the big one: better project performance. It's a total win-win. Okay, so that's where we're headed, but who's going to guide us there? What kind of leader can actually pull this off? Well, it all comes down to being what's called a servant leader. This right here, this is a huge mental shift for a lot of managers. A servant leader's number one job is the growth of their people, period. It's not about getting the most out of them for this one project. It's about playing the long game. It means you're genuinely happy to see them level up, even if it means they eventually outgrow your team and move on. So how do you know if you're doing it right? Well, a servant leader asks a totally different set of questions. They're not just worried about, are we on track or is the work done? They're asking things like this: are my people doing okay? Are they learning? Are they becoming more independent? See how that flips the script? It's not what can you do for me, it's what can I do to help you grow? All right, destination set. Guide identified. Now let's talk about the actual path. How do people learn and grow? Turns out it's not totally random. There are some really cool models that give us a kind of map for the journey. One of my favorites is called shuhari. It's a concept from Japanese martial arts, but the agile world has really embraced it as a fantastic way to think about mastering pretty much any new skill. Let's take a look at what each of these stages means. So let's break it down. Think of it like learning to cook. Shu is the first stage. You follow the recipe to the letter. No changes, just do what it says. Then comes ha. Now you get why the recipe works. You understand the principles. So maybe you get a little creative, you add a different spice, you experiment. Finally, you reach Ri. You don't even need the recipe anymore. You just are the cook. You're creating your own stuff going by feel. It's second nature. There's another great model called the Dreyfus model. It's a bit more detailed, breaking things down into 5 levels, all the way from a complete novice to a true expert. But honestly, whether you use Shuhari or Dreyfus, the big idea is the same. Knowing where someone is on their learning journey is the key to giving them the support they actually need. And that leads us right to our toolkit. We've got the map. Now what tools do we need to help people move along that path? What can we as leaders actually do? Okay, this is one of the most important tools in the box: situational leadership. It just means you don't lead everyone the same way. If someone's in that shu stage, a total beginner, they need you to be pretty direct. But as they get better, moving into ha and ri, you back off. You switch to coaching, then to supporting, and eventually you can just delegate. The bottom line is, there's no single best leadership style. It always depends on the person and the situation. So besides changing up your style, there are other more concrete things you can do. We're talking about the classics, right? Formal training, on-the-job coaching, finding mentors for people. You can use assessments to figure out where people are strong and where they could use some help. And maybe the most powerful tool of all, just giving good, timely feedback all the time. And when it comes to coaching, a simple framework like the Oscar model here can be a game changer. It gives your conversation some structure. You start with the outcome. Basically, what's the goal? Then you look at the situation. Where are you now? Then you brainstorm choices. pick some concrete actions, and this part is super important. You set a time to review how things are going. It takes a conversation from just a chat to an actual plan. So, let's recap. We've got our destination, our guide, a path, and a toolkit. But what keeps the engine running? What's the fuel for this whole journey? Well, it's recognition. This is so fundamental. Motivation doesn't just happen by accident. It comes from people feeling like their work actually matters and that they matter. And how do you show them that? Two ways. Give them chances to grow, which is what we've been talking about, and recognize them for the great work they're already doing. Now, when we say rewards, a lot of us immediately think about money, right? Bonuses, raises. And look, those are great. But don't sleep on the power of the intangible stuff. A simple, genuine thank you, a shout out in a team meeting, giving someone a really cool, challenging new assignment. Sometimes that stuff can be way more powerful than cash because it hits on our human need to feel appreciated and valued. So the big takeaway here is that recognizing people doesn't have to break the bank. It can be as simple as saying thank you more often, or sending a quick note to their boss to say they did an awesome job. And I really want to highlight that last one. Giving someone the chance to learn a new skill, that's a huge reward. It shows you're not just invested in the project, you're invested in them. And that really brings us to the final question, the one I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at how you lead. Are you truly developing your team's long-term potential, or are you just managing their to-do list? Because how you answer that question really says everything about your team's future and your own.